Hi, I'm Miya, and we've actually gotten quite the number of suggestions to basically react to SCP videos. I have dipped my toes into this, but I honestly don't remember much. So I'm going to be refreshing my memory today by reacting to the Volgun's SCP Explained video. And without further ado, I hope you enjoy your stay here. Let's get into it.
So, you stumbled upon or heard about a thing called SCP, and you're wondering what it's all about. This guide has all the information you need to know about what the SCP Foundation is and what it has to offer you.
Perfect, because it's literally been years since I've looked into an SCP video. Ask me what my favorite SCP is in the comments. No, it should be the other way around. I should be asking you which one yours is, but you know what? Either works.
Think of it as the ultimate primer to the universe, and the wiki as it is and should be seen today. This guide is split up into 3 sections, and they are as follows. Number 1, the basics. An introduction to the SCP Foundation and wiki, covering the SCP format, object classes, in-universe lore about the Foundation, and important vocabulary, and why it all matters.
The vocabulary is really important. I feel like this is what's going to trip me up because I know that there are a number of words that I'll keep seeing that I don't fully understand. So we're going to be learning that today. Wonderful.
Number 2, in-universe elements. This covers some background information and a lot of commonly used terms that might leave a new reader lost or confused.
I appreciate this video a lot. I think this is gonna be like the difference. This is gonna be the thing that separates like my reactions to SCP videos if I hadn't watched this and if I had watched this. Does that make sense? Yeah, no, I just think it's gonna be very useful.
Number 3, things to read and do. A tour of the entire SCP universe, covering all modes of writing and different kinds of pieces that you can read. From -Js to EXs, 001 proposals to groups of interest, tales, and canons. There's a lot more than just the SCP series.
I love that there's homework, actually. I know a little bit about the -Js. I only know one of them. I don't know if it's the most popular one. It's the one with the... I don't know how to explain it. Is it like... Wait, okay, it's basically weed. But that's the only one that I remember of the -Js. Yeah.
Okay, let's get started. The basics. Operating clandestine and worldwide, the Foundation operates beyond jurisdiction, empowered and entrusted by every major national government with the task of containing anomalous objects, entities, and phenomena. These anomalies pose a significant threat to global security by threatening either physical or psychological harm. Introduction. The SCP Foundation is a collaborative writing platform centering around a fictional foundation, a scientific and military organization that seeks to protect humanity and the status quo by locating and containing anomalies, objects, life forms, events, locations, concepts, creations, and phenomena that, in one way or another, violate natural law.
This is really scary to think about. Like, I'm actually really glad that we don't live in a reality where we have to deal with something like this. I feel like, just based on like the couple of SCPs that I'm aware of, I know not all of them are malicious, but it's really scary to think about.
On the SCP Wiki, authors tell stories and explore ideas within this urban fantasy science fiction universe, creating rich pieces of writing that take place in a world where the anomalous exists and how people and organizations interact with them. These articles may showcase the different types of phenomena that might exist in this universe, the SCPs themselves, or tell compelling narratives about life and interactions within the SCP world, tales, canons, and groups of interest formats.
I think, like, thinking back to all the stuff that I used to read on the wiki, I think one of my favorite things was actually mainly the interactions like between like all the characters and even like interactions with the SCP themselves. But I feel like ultimately I get really attached to like very specific characters. I say that, but I couldn't name a single one. I have really bad memory. You just have to take my word for it.
The central focus of the SCP Wiki is the SCP file, commonly referred to as just an SCP. It is a set of in-universe technical documentation supposedly compiled by the Foundation in an effort to understand, analyze, experiment with, and most importantly, contain the anomaly. The SCP file is, in effect, a form of constrained writing, an immersive way to tell a story about the nature and history of an anomalous object or entity, whether directly or by hinting at some greater idea.
Watch me take notes. I'm taking them notes.
Each SCP is given a unique serial number or designation. And on the wiki, you can browse SCPs with designations ranging from 1 to 3,999.
Wait, that's it? I thought, wait, this was 7 years ago. Wait, how many SCPs are there now? I think like it was around this time that I started getting into like reading into them. I think it was, I'm not sure if it got really popular at the time, but I came across it and I was like, oh, interesting. But 7 years ago was crazy. This video is 7 years old. There has to be like more. There has to be like way more SCPs now. I believe, yeah.
They are organized into 4 numerical series. Series 1, SCP-1 through to 999. Series 1 was written from 2007 to 2011. Series 2, SCP-1000 through to SCP-1999. Series 2 was written from 2011 to 2013. Series 3, SCP-2000 through to SCP-2999. Series 3 was written from 2013 to 2017. And Series 4, SCP-3000 through to SCP-3999. This series is still being written, but it started in 2017.
I find it so interesting that it started like so early on. Like reading into it, I never really looked into like when the first one was written. I just know that it was written a long time ago, but it never really occurred to me like when to really look into like when exactly they started writing the stuff and when this whole universe thing started. It's so cool, actually. It's so cool. A small part of me kind of thought that it actually came into being like way earlier, like like in like 2002 or something. But this is good to know. This is actually like a lot more recent than I thought it was going to be.
The SCP format. An SCP file has a very specific format that, in general, must be strictly adhered to. SCPs are the backbone of the entire franchise. These documents are the set pieces of the universe, showcasing its tone, stories, and possibilities. The basic format of an SCP is as follows. Item number, SCP- then the number. Object class, then a category name. Special containment procedures, then a detailed summary of all specific means needed to make sure the anomaly is safely contained. Description, then a technically written documentation of all things that the anomaly is, does, and can do. And finally, supplements, optional additional files added onto the base document.
I think one of like the more interesting things that I would look out for when I would go through the wiki way back then was these special containment procedures and also like the supplements, like all the, is case files the word? Because I don't remember anymore. But it's like all the extra like logs and stuff. Really interesting. Super interesting.
Each SCP is given an object class based on the degree of containment difficulty. Here are the primary object classes. Safe. The anomaly can be contained by simply leaving it alone. No special procedures, methods, or events are necessary to keep it from damaging the world. This does not necessarily mean it's not dangerous. A safe class object can be world-threatening if not contained, but it's just really easy to contain them.
This was something that got me really confused initially. Like the thing that I couldn't really kind of grasp was definitely the object classes, understanding like what was safe, what was Euclid, and what was Keter. This was definitely a big part of the confusion that I was experiencing. I thought safe just meant like, oh, this thing is safe. Like you don't have to contain it because it won't do shit. But no, actually, I think it's a very interesting way for them to kind of, like it's not so surface level and it's not so like, oh, you, I don't know how to explain it. But there's layers to this, and I think that's what makes it so interesting to look into this, because it's very well thought out, and it's very like, yeah, you get what I mean. I'm not great with words, but you get it.
Some notable examples of safe class SCPs are SCP-1981, SCP-2579, SCP-993, SCP-1425, and SCP-3039.
I can't tell what that last one is. Are those books?
All examples will be in the video description.
Oh, okay. Sick.
Next, Euclid. The anomaly is inherently unpredictable or requires some amount of special effort to be contained. You're not quite sure what will happen if you leave it alone, and it might be a little bit more complex than a safe class entity, object, or phenomenon.
Like, I thought safe was difficult to understand initially, right? Euclid was definitely one of the bigger confusions that I had. I always thought it was kind of like a easy, like intermediate and difficult, like whatever it is. But I don't even think now I could say, like, if you told me to guess, right? If you gave me all the information of like a specific SCP and you told me to guess if it was Euclid, safe, or Keter, and if it was Euclid, I probably wouldn't really know how to classify the SCP. Yeah, I'm still very confused about this.
Some notable examples of Euclid-class SCPs are SCP-3008, SCP-426, SCP-1171, SCP-3001.
Oh, wait, really? Oh, that would make sense. Oh, yeah, by the way, that's my favorite one. SCP-3001. That's my favorite one.
And SCP-1609. And finally, Keter. These SCPs are really difficult to contain, requiring a huge expenditure of resources or extensively complex containment procedures. The most dangerous of phenomena are classed as Keter, often, but not always, posing an existential threat to humanity, the world, or universal structure itself.
So it's Keter, not Keter. Yeah, gotcha. I'll keep that in mind. I'm learning.
Some notable examples of Keter-class SCPs are SCP-1739.
It looks so goofy to actually see these pictures, because like that's literally a laptop.
SCP-231, SCP-2935, SCP-2293, and SCP-30.
The subtitles are going kind of crazy. Actually, it's almost more confusing to read.
200. In addition, there are a number of esoteric and secondary classes that are used much less than the big three that I just mentioned, but still serve important purposes. Thaumiel. This is a very rare object class only known to the highest levels of the Foundation. In essence, Thaumiel class objects are anti-Keter. They are used in the containment or counteracting of other SCPs. They act as powerful tools to be used by the Foundation, which normally rarely uses anomalies.
So Thaumiel, I used to call it Thaumiel, but like Thaumiel, I've seen this word kind of float around across like the wiki, but I've never actually thought to search it up. There was a vague understanding that they were like kind of like tools, but it's also like, whoa, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Some notable examples of Thaumiel class SCPs are SCP-2000, SCP-2003, SCP-3000, SCP-179, and SCP-3031.
Okay.
And finally, neutralized. It used to be anomalous, now it's not. Maybe it just stopped working on its own. Maybe someone accidentally or purposefully destroyed it. Either way, it no longer has functional anomalous properties.
I actually never saw this one. I don't think I've ever come across like a neutralized SCP, at least not to my memory.
Some notable examples of neutralized class SCPs are SCP-1470, SCP-2682, SCP-3519, SCP-1762, and SCP-2420.
For obvious reasons, I'm kind of curious about 1762. Maybe one of these days we'll react to that one.
If you want to stop watching this guide now and start diving into the wiki, this is a good time to do so. But be sure to finish this guide if you're unsure of anything. Maybe you can pick one from the links from the description and then follow the cross links and navigation in the article. Maybe you can go to a series page. I highly recommend series 2 and 3, and just click on one with an intriguing title. Or you could roll the dice and press random SCP.
That's one of the things I really liked about the wiki. The fact that you could just press random SCP and then like you'd be brought on to like a page you could just read into. That was actually how I found my favorite one, which was the Red Reality. It's to this day, it's actually one of my favorite SCPs to date, even though like I haven't really read into it in a long time. I had it as my wallpaper for I think like a full 4 years. And like every time I get like a new device, I'll always change it back to that specific picture. It really is one of my favorite SCPs.
One of the best ways to learn about the Foundation is to discover for yourself all the genres, emotions, and ideas it can evoke, to keep that sense of mystery and gritty realism. There's still a lot to learn about the culture and vocabulary and universe of the site. You can find out and learn by yourself just by reading as much as you can. Playing it by ear, it's pretty fun that way.
Normally, I feel like when videos like this say like, oh, you can go ahead and read this on your own, I find it to be a little bit redundant. But because SCPs, like the universe of it is just it's so vast and there's just so much. There's a lot you won't be able to cover in the video without keeping it concise and easy to digest for a lot of beginners. So I actually like that TheVolgun like actually added like all these links, all these resources in the description. I think if I had not known about SCPs altogether to begin with, it would be a lot easier for me to follow, like given all the resources are readily available, and also like the important bits are covered in the video, because I'm not the kind of person that can really focus on a video if it goes into like a bunch of different directions at once. So I think this is already great. I'm already loving this video.
Or if you'd like to get a better handle on everything that's going on and a few more ways to drop you into the community, stay tuned. I still have a lot to show you.
I'm excited.
Next up, in-universe elements. Foundation structure and protocol. Security clearance represents how much information about an object you're allowed to know. If you've read through an SCP or two, you're bound to have seen these. Data expunged, redacted, or the text completely blacked out. These keywords are common hallmarks and tools of narrative of the SCP Wiki, signifying that the information has been classified to a higher clearance or has been cleansed completely. It adds an element of horror through absence that is classic to the SCP fandom. For a great example of how security clearance levels can be used, read SCP-2317.
Oh.
There are also many types of workers in the Foundation.
Wait, before that, like I actually don't know this, but is there like a difference between data expunged and also redacted? I know like redacted and like the blank like the nothing. I know that can be kind of interchanged. I don't know if there actually is a difference between like expunged data or like redacted text ? Does one mean that it's been like cleared forever, or like does it just mean like it's only for like special clearance ?
Among them, we have containment specialists, researchers, and security tactical response officers. There are field agents who are out in the world undercover, looking for signs of anomalous activity, and mobile task forces, special units that are assigned to carry out certain dangerous jobs. The task forces document contains a list of mobile task forces along with their associated SCPs. The Foundation is usually thought of as a far-reaching organization, and so their bases are found across the globe, and sometimes outside of it. These bases can be sites or areas. For more information, read Secure Facilities Locations. The leaders of individual areas or sites are high-ranking Level 4 researchers known as Site Directors. There are few in the Foundation that rank higher than Site Director, and they are the O5 Council, the ultimate leaders of the entire Foundation. The Overseer Council, abbreviated to O5, is a group of 13 people who manage all Foundation operations worldwide and have complete access to all information, redacted or not. Their identities are classified for safety, and they are only referred to by their ID.
I can't help but feel like to be one of these people is so much pressure. You know, okay, like I know that it's not like too uncommon. Like let's say like you're in like your typical average everyday job and you're like up for like a promotion, right? But then if you know that you're being promoted to something that's like just really tedious or like just really annoying, that's already enough reason for you to go like, am I happy in my current position? Should I just stay here if I'm happy with the pay? If I'm happy with, this is generally, right? What would make someone actually want to be a part of this council, knowing how much risk there is, how much danger they're putting themselves in. It's so scary. It's so scary.
051 through 13. In addition, some versions of canon also include the existence of an administrator.
Wait, so that implies that there are different canons? I didn't know that.
The creator of the Foundation. Finally, one of the most interesting parts of the Foundation are D-Class personnel, or Class Ds. The canon around D-Class personnel helps showcase the colder and more morally gray side of the Foundation.
Morally gray? Really? Okay, I think that's a little bit... Okay, it's definitely, like, by definition, it's morally gray. But it's also, like, very hard not to feel bad for the people who are in D-Class. I mean, we'll get into it, right? Not that they don't deserve what they're going through, but also, like, knowing an actual human being is being put through something like this is honestly really terrifying. Especially if you don't know what they actually did. Like, if all you need to know is, like, okay, they're, like, say, like, criminals, like, they're that's it. They have life sentences. But what do? You don't know. So then it kind of starts to make me feel like, is this okay? Question mark? Is what they're being put through almost worse than what they actually deserve, even though they already deserve a lot, like a big punishment?
In order to experiment with and contain SCPs, the Foundation needs lab rats to test things with. The D-Class. Oftentimes, they are recruited from death row or the prison population, serving as expendable personnel.
So see, like, or the prison population. So not all of them are on death row. How bad does the crime have to be? Or are you just picked randomly? Like, what if like, what if it, I don't know. It's, I can't help but wonder,
Personnel that are used to handle hazardous anomalies. In the early days of the site, a common headcanon was that all D-Class were executed at the end of the month. However, this idea has gone out of fashion as the site has evolved. For more interesting stories about Class D personnel, try reading entries from the D-Class contest.
We definitely should, actually. Like, if there already is a video on that, we should definitely watch that. I'm very curious.
Terms to know. The SCP Wiki has created a wide set of terminology and new innovations, inventing concepts that are unique to the premise of the site and found nearly nowhere else in literature. You may want to know these terms before you dive in.
For sure. These are the things that really, this one really got me. Like the word mimetic. I actually initially thought this was like a meme culture thing. Like, oh, it has the word meme in it, so it's probably like something in regards to memes. I was very wrong. It's very interesting, though, to look into all this, like, jargon and whatnot.
Anomalous classifications. Mimetic, or meme.
Okay, hold on, wait. Was I potentially right? No, yeah, we'll watch.
A meme is any unit of information that can spread and transfer itself throughout society. Mimetic effects deal with how the brain understands and reacts to media. It is a piece of data in the subject's mind that has an anomalous effect on that subject's physical or mental state that is spread when someone else becomes aware of the same information. In particular, anomalous mimetic agents are bits of hazardous information that are like a mental virus, triggering anomalous reactions in people who are exposed to them.
Did they use like the actual definition of meme? I feel like I should be like searching this up. Hold on, let me Google it. Definition of meme. An element of a culture or system of behavior passed from one individual to another by imitation or other non-genetic means. Yeah, that actually does kind of, yeah, it probably did derive from this word. Not that I have any sources to, like back that up. But it's pretty cool that it's been adapted, if it was. It's pretty cool that it was adapted for this purpose. Yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Anti-mimetic or anti-meme. An anti-meme is the opposite of a meme. It has self-censoring properties.
Oh, that reminds me of one of the SCPs that like I can't even talk about it.
Anti-memes are perfectly mentally camouflaged. whether by making you unable to hold your perception of one in your short-term memory, or making you unable to comprehend the concept of its existence.
That literally just happened to me. What the fuck? That wasn't a bit, by the way. Like, I genuinely could not, like, describe what I'm thinking of. Like, I think you guys might probably know the SCP I'm talking about, but I can't.
Cognitohazard. A cognitohazard is something that is dangerous when we perceive it with one of the 5 senses. For example, a sound that causes you to bleed from every pore, or a smell that causes you to go...
That's horrifying! That's actually horrifying! But I don't know why the image I had in my head was just so... comedic, humorous is not the word, but like, oh.
Insane. All mimetic effects are a subset of cognitohazards. As in
Okay.
order to process the information, you have to sense it. Infohazard. Infohazards are anomalous effects that trigger when the SCP is described, referred to, or acknowledged. You don't even have to sense the thing to be affected by an infohazard. You just have to know that it exists. It affects data written about the anomaly and people that are made aware of the existence of the effect.
I'm sorry.
Ontokinetic or reality bender. An ontokinetic being can manipulate the laws of reality, magic, through anomalous means. Groups of interest contain and study reality benders, often in unethical ways, creating some moral crises for the Foundation. Anart, or an artist. Anart is short for anomalous art.
Okay.
Many people and groups aware of the existence of reality-breaking phenomena choose to explore it by creating often surrealist art with extra-normal properties. These
Extra normal. Is that a real word? Extra normal? Extraordinary? Super? Wait, what was that again? Supernatural? Question mark? Are these all like words in like the same vague category?
people being called an artists. Narrativic or pataphysical.
There's
A
so many
narrativic
words. There's so many words here I actually haven't seen before. This is going to be a trip.
anomaly manifests itself within works of fiction, often affecting the content of the work involved by creating characters, changing the setting, or blurring the line between fiction and the reality.
This reminds me of that one episode from Rick and Morty, you know, like the one with oh god, I have like really bad memory. It's horrible. I remember bits and pieces of like the media I watch. But like the one with the aliens, and then the aliens are like like they insert themselves into your memories and they make you think like you've been like buds with them like forever. And it's only good memories. Yeah. I'm not tripping. That's definitely an episode.
The pataphorical or pataphysical SCP explores narrativic anomalies using the wiki itself as the narrative. It explores the idea of characters we write on the website attempting to communicate and manipulate us, and being aware of things on the website like author pages, deletions, and discussion forums.
Interesting.
Technology and engineering. Scranton Reality Anchor.
I recognize this one. I actually recognize this one.
Scranton Reality Anchors are technological devices used by the Foundation to essentially regulate consensus reality. They cancel out or prevent the effects of reality-bending entities and anchor down areas where the level of unreality is higher or lower than normal, counterbending it so that it matches the reality that we know and inhabit. Many contemporary authors have criticized the widespread use of SRAs as a catch-all for containing any type of structural or ontokinetic effect.
I think I'm gonna have to actually look more into this separately. That's not a string of words my brain could like properly process, but I think I kind of understand.
Telekill. The
Telekill?
SRA back in the old days. Except the problem was worse. In its original form, it was a metal that blocked all mind-affecting or compulsive effects. People went crazy over it and started using it in all their containment procedures, and mistakenly thought it also blocked mimetic effects. Scranton's rewrite of the article added some nuances and drawbacks to it, and its usage had fallen by the wayside anyway, as people have become more innovative with writing.
Ah.
Humes, a unit of...
Ooh. Yeah. A lot of these words are starting to come back to me because it's been so long, right? But like, I'm starting to see these like little terms, and I'm like, oh my god, wait, I've seen that word before.
Measurement that measures the intensity of reality present in an area, crucial to understanding how SRAs and other technologies work. They are useful in quantifying how powerful reality-bending effects are relative to each other. K-class scenario, a term used to classify possible apocalypse scenarios, which the Foundation deals with on a daily basis when discussing the possible outcomes of dangerous effects or entities.
Daily basis is crazy because in this world, if you don't know about the SCPs, like you probably think it's just another day when like the world literally almost or possibly already ended. It's kind of crazy.
The most common type is XK class, which describes a conventional destruction of the planet scenario. There are multiple minor ones whose exact definitions in canon are being argued over, including CK class, the restructuring of a reality.
CK.
AK class, humanity goes crazy. SK class, the dominant species on Earth is no longer humans.
That's interesting. That's actually very interesting. I love that they're actually exploring like the possibility of dominant species on it's not a very it's not like it's an uncommon thing to explore. I mean, even Rick and Morty has done it. I know I've been referencing Rick, I mean, like, come on, like there's an overlap, right? But I think it's really interesting that we're actually saying it, you know, like, okay, there is potentially a species that could be more dominant than humans. I think that's a very interesting thing to explore. Yeah, pretty cool stuff.
And ZK class, reality universal failure.
Ooh.
Amnestic, mind wipe drugs. A narrative tool used by authors to explain A, how the Foundation is able to keep the masquerade of secrecy, and B, to create stories dealing with memory and knowledge.
I don't know if this has already been done, but like, was there have there been any like, I don't know, non-canon or canon events that involve the Men in Black? Not that I've watched it, but I know that little pen thing, right? It basically fits in this. I think question mark. There's a lot of stuff I haven't seen. I don't touch grass very often. Yeah.
In universe, these are simply chemicals that erase a normal human's memory of some amount of time. When the Foundation has to recover an anomaly in the real world or seriously messes up, these are used. Things to read and do.
Homework!
There's more to the wiki than the SCP series. In this section, I open the door to the other areas of the site that are part of the Foundation universe, as well as answer some common questions about key but confusing parts of the site. What is SCP-1? The early days of the site questions about key but confusing parts of the site. What is SCP-1?
Right, I remember this being like a conversation. I saw like a video essay on it like a couple years ago about how like this isn't like I'll let him explain it. I don't know why I'm trying to do this. It's literally going to be in the video.
In the early days of the site, when the wiki was just getting started, there was some debate over what should be this sacred number. 1. Everyone agreed that it had to be incredibly written. Everyone agreed that it had to be big, something deserving of the very first spot. But nobody could agree who should do the honor of writing it. The answer? Everyone can write their own vision of SCP-1.
Okay, so this is basically like open to interpretation then. Open to interpretation? No, it's an open SCP, open-ended? No, open-ended? Yeah, open-ended. Yeah, that's probably the word for it.
Thus, the system of proposals, an author's individual idea of number 1. They vary wildly and contradict each other. On the number 1 hub page, it says that the, quote, real number 1 is so secret that a number of false ones have been created. This explanation allows there to be multiple self-contradictory number 1s.
I like like that. I like that they basically like leave it open, right? And there's actually like lore that helps connect everything together regardless, like despite the contradictions. There's an actual, is retcon the word? Is it a good retcon? I think it's a good retcon, if the word even is retcon.
One of them could be the true one to you. Or maybe you want a couple to be canonical at the same time. Maybe all of them are fake. Maybe all of them are true. It all depends on your canon and how much you like a given proposal. In effect, SCP-1 proposals are canon builders. Each one sets the tone for a particular author's vision of the Foundation itself. Creating an SCP-1 proposal is as easy as writing it and then submitting it just like any other SCP. Although, unless you're incredibly experienced, it will most likely get rejected by the community and deleted.
Oh, that makes sense. I guess that's just like how wikis work in general. But I am kind of wondering, like, if let's say there are like a bunch of like SCP-001s that are really, really good, do they just get listed as SCP-001? Or is it like SCP-001-A, SCP-001-B, or something? I think we have to look into the wiki at some point. Yeah, I have to go wiki diving again.
As of November 2017, 19 SCP-1 proposals have been successfully posted. Each one is the product of a lot of work and a high concept.
19 of them by 2017. How many do we have now?
Here are 6 of the 19. Number 1. Dr. Clef's proposal. The Foundation was established to prepare humanity for the rapture or apocalypse.
Speaking of the rapture, this is weirdly enough, very recently relevant.
SCP-1 is the angel guarding Eden. Number 2. Dr. Mann's proposal. The first and only natural anomaly was a spiral path in New York. A group of ambitious scientists experimented with reality using this as the thread and created every single other anomaly in the database.
Oh, so it's like the Big Bang, but for like SCPs. Interesting.
Number 3. S. Andrew Swan's proposal. The SCP Foundation is aware of its fictionality. They are currently discussing ways to kill their authors.
Oh my god, wait, this is so meta. This is actually kind of scary. Whoa!
Number 4. Rojit's proposal. Keter-class anomalies are an inherent part of the universe and can be contained using each other. By releasing all Keter-class anomalies, the universe can be manually restructured.
So it's like a reset button to just release like all the Keter-class anomalies. Very interesting to say that they're an inherent part of the universe. I guess that would make sense, but like, what makes Keter-class anomalies an inherent part of the universe and safe-class anomalies not, or Euclid-class anomalies not, and whatnot?
Number 5. Twisted Gear's Cactus proposal. SCP-1 is one manifestation of the mechanical god worshipped by a clockwork cult, which wreaked havoc on the world before the military destroyed it.
Ooh.
And finally, Number 6. Kaladin's proposal. Humanity was originally a slave race whose suffering was harvested to create utopia on another planet. We escaped and then tried to cloak ourselves. The cloak failed, and our masters are trying to bring us home.
Oh, that's quite interesting too. Interesting, very, very interesting. Hold on while I reread this to process this properly. Very, very interesting. Okay, so I can't really like identify like a tangible thing, but like it doesn't have to be tangible, right?
It's my personal suggestion that you don't start with SCP-1. The proposals are usually quite complex and require some knowledge of Foundation lore.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Which is either played with, expanded on, or subverted. Read conventional SCPs before you take the number 1 deep dive. Special classifications -EX, -J, and -ARC.
I've been waiting for this. I'm very excited to see this one.
There are other types of documents that use the basic SCP format and style, but utilized in a different way. This allows different stories with more diverse tones and themes to be told. The SCP-EX classification designates an SCP that is no longer considered anomalous. It
So like a neutralized one?
is explained. The object or phenomenon in question still exists, but the Foundation has deemed it to be an acceptable part of consensus reality. Or it was a giant fake-out, or it turned out to be just a new scientific discovery. An SCP-
Wait, okay, if that's the case, like how many of like SCPs dash number dash EXs, how many of them have like, what's the word? How many of them are neutralized? Or is it like two separate things?
J is a joke SCP, a parody SCP in a sense. Joke SCPs are explicitly non-canon, using the SCP format to joke around or make fun of something for the benefit of the reader.
It was pretty fun to actually read through the Dash-J SCPs. I think that was also one of my fondest memories, actually like going wiki diving for like different SCPs to read into. This was really cool. I didn't know about this until it was like recommended to me, actually.
They may riff on in-universe tropes like overwrought security, over-the-top containment, cold posting, or bad original characters. Or they may parody things like food poisoning, bad drivers, easily angered people, or that one movie.
I need to know if there's already like a Dash-J for like Karens, just Karens in general. There has to be, right? It's been years.
They may even make fun of the elements in the other popular SCP canons. Ultimately, a joke SCP is just a way to make the reader laugh. If a joke SCP is not well written and very funny, it'll be downvoted.
Not well written and very funny. Okay, not well written and not very funny. Okay, got it. My brain.
And finally, we have SCP-ARC, archived SCPs. These are usually legacy pages from the very old days of the site, when standards were low and the mass edit had not been conducted yet. While most of these SCPs were deleted,
mass edit? I didn't hear about the mass edit. Question mark? Question mark? I mean, it probably happened before I got into this, so.
Some of them needed to have text archives due to their usage in other tales or still existing SCPs, or because they were historically important. ARCing is no longer in use since the opening of Series 2, 3, and 4, and you will most likely never need to read one of these.
Speaking of, not that it's directly related to this, but I do remember SCP-163, correct me if I'm wrong, the very beloved one. I heard that it got like a redesign like a couple years ago, but I never really looked into like the new design, or I know that there are a couple, but I've never really like looked into it. Yeah.
Tales, canons, and collaborative logs. Tales are how the Foundation universe gets deepened and extended beyond the limits of the simple SCP file. It allows authors to tell stories where groups or people can interact with each other in the SCP universe, to expand on ideas already created in SCPs, or just, to write a prose. Some authors
What's a prose?
may also turn their tales into a series, usually if they have a cohesive idea in mind, or if it gets really popular. Notable series include There Is No Anti-Memetics Division, The Cool War, The Lombardi Tales, Tales of Mr. Collector, and Pitch Haven.
I mean, we have a list of things we can react to next, if there already are videos on them. I would assume there are. Normally, there's already a video of everything, so.
You can find tales in the top-rated Tales archive as submissions to a themed contest, or by trawling around and finding recommendations. You can also, as we'll soon learn, read the tales in a canon. A canon is your own set of assumptions about the tone, setting, and dynamic of the universe. Each of the canons in the Canon Hub is a wildly different set of assumptions based off the baseline SCP Foundation. Think of them as mega tale hubs or parallel universes.
Parallel universe is actually a pretty good way to kind of like still somewhat fit this into like the bigger picture, I guess?
Self-contained cinematic universes for authors to play in. Here are 5 notable canons. Broken Masquerade, a world where the Foundation's existence is known by everyone.
Oh.
Resurrection, a deliberate attempt to resurrect the action-orientated SCP Dr. Crazy Days of Series 1, in which an MTF composed of anomalous humans is formed.
Damn.
Third Law, a pulpy sci-fi paratech world dominated by the machinations of Prometheus Labs and Anderson Robotics. Rat's Nest, the military killed God, and the Foundation is covering it up. Reality is slowly unraveling and falling apart.
That's horrifying.
The Gulf, small-scale poignant series set in the southern United States, usually having a restful, mysterious feel, and featuring religious symbolism and unconventional types of media. A number of pages on the site are tagged as...
Wait, before that, for those of you who do look into this, which one's your favorite? Yeah, which one's your favorite canon?
Collaborative. Collaborative logs or pages can be edited and added to by anyone, although some quality oversight still exists. This is a good way to get your creative chops and contribute whilst not taking the plunge of writing an SCP. The 3 main collaborative pages exist as lists of mini SCPs, very small-scale items or phenomena that don't need to have a narrative, but still need to be unique, appropriate, and interesting. They are Log of Anomalous Items. The SCP Foundation has discovered a substantial number of items which are simply too useless to merit further attention. This document lists those items which have prompted some curiosity. Log of Extranormal Events. This page is to document anomalous events that have attracted the Foundation's interests, but occurred too briefly for the Foundation to secure or contain them. And finally, Log of Unexplained Locations. This page is to be devoted to the documentation of low-threat anomalous locations which have been discovered by the SCP Foundation over the years. There are a number of other collaborative pages, usually SCP supplements or logs. Keep in mind that guidelines for contributions still apply though, and if your edition is deemed to be below standard, it'll probably be removed. Groups of interest. The Foundation.
I'm kind of curious about this too. I used to listen to a lot of video essays just to kind of put in the background while I did my work. So I wasn't fully listening to them, but some things would kind of stick. And I do remember hearing about certain conflicts within the SCP universe that I thought was pretty interesting, but never really came back to really listen properly to. So yeah, hopefully we can get into that by reacting to these in the future.
Foundation isn't the only fish in the anomalous sea. Other organizations, collective, and groups exist that utilize or create paranormal phenomena for their own purposes. Some are associates of the Foundation, others are rivals to it. Many of them quietly pursue their own interests, while a great many of them fall on the lines of good and or evil. The vast majority simply have a goal in mind that's somewhere in between. Here are 7 notable groups of interest. Are We Cool Yet? A collection of artists, usually producing surreal and disturbing works of art. Their pieces are designed to have maximum impact and are usually lethal in some way.
Lethal is crazy.
The Chaos Insurgency. A rogue
I recognize this one.
Cell of the Foundation that uses terrorist means to steal and repurpose powerful anomalies to gain control over nations and conduct unethical experiments using them. The Church of the Broken God. A widespread cult believing in a clockwork god who is broken into pieces all over the world. Dr. Wondertainment.
This is familiar too, but I don't remember much about it.
An individual or company that makes anomalous artifacts that are supposed to be children's toys.
It reminds me of, in Doctor Who, there's the toy maker. I think kind of reminds me of that.
The Serpent's Hand. A small organization headquartered in an interdimensional library, believing in anomalous rites and the normalization of the paranormal and magical. Marshall, Carter, and Dark. A corporation that buys and sells anomalous items for the benefit of the super rich.
I think it's nice that we actually have organizations that are named like this. It's very I feel like it's very realistic. Just to have organizations that aren't just called something. I mean, not to say it's not good, of course. To have organizations that are named like really direct sounding names, like, oh, like the evil organization or something like that. I feel like that's very common in fiction. But to see like stuff like this, like, oh, just straight up last names, like these are just straight up companies. They may not be good companies, but like you wouldn't know. you wouldn't know better. It's really cool.
Global Occult Coalition, or the GOC.
This is familiar too.
A massive military organization under control of the UN, using technology and force to destroy the extra normal wherever they find it.
I did not know they were under the UN. That's new to me.
Many groups also have their own form of documentation, similar to an SCP. On the wiki, they are called GOI formats, and they are stories told from a different perspective than the Foundation. For more information, visit the Groups of Interest page, as well as the ongoing Groups of Interest overview and guide on the SCP Declassified subreddit. Beyond the main site, you can find stories and SCPs to read even beyond the classifications and places I've already detailed. In this final section, I present other outlets of writing associated or tied to the SCP Wiki that you can also look into. Firstly, a great place for you to discover lesser known but very well written tales and SCPs are in the Contest Archive. For example, SCP-1000, 2000, and 3000 contests all have SCPs themed around urban legends, sci-fi, and horror, respectively.
That's pretty cool.
You have the Short Works contest, and the D-Class contest mentioned earlier, and the History contest for both tales and SCPs. Then there are the gigantic, multi-part Mobile Task Force contest and Groups of Interest contest, and then the Dystopia and Reimagining contests, and so forth. There's so much to find.
So are contests like everyone like writes a thing for that specific SCP number and then like it gets voted down and then like an official one's decided, or is it for like specific numbers? Or what is a contest archive? Is it its own website? It's like a separate thing from the wiki altogether. It sounds like it is, right? Because it's like an external thing. But so interesting. It's so interesting.
The Wanderer's Library is set in the mysterious, ancient, magical Library of the Serpent's Hand. It includes prose pieces and poetry set in the SCP universe, but
poetry
focused on evoking a sense of wonder, of the extraordinary.
Sorry, the subs. Voguing, really? Oh my god.
And fantastical. Quote, a sense that there is a larger world beyond the one we know. In the world of the library, these wonders are hidden, but never truly far away. But never forget that this is a wilder world than our own, and it's never entirely safe, either. And finally, we have the international foreign SCP branches. There's French SCPs, Russian SCPs, Japanese SCPs, and a whole bunch more.
What? I didn't know that. I thought they were all in English, and then it would all just kind of like trickle down and just be like translated for like other regions and whatnot. I didn't know they were like foreign branches. That's so cool.
Each brand has their own set of SCPs, many of which have extremely creative and diverse ideas. If you're looking for more SCPs to read, this might be a place to find cool concepts. And if you don't know a foreign language, the main SCP-INT wiki hub has translations of some of them.
Ooh. Okay, like if you guys have any specific foreign SCPs that already have like good video essays, like a good video essay that like explains like what it is, kind of just goes through like the wiki and whatnot, but in English, let me know in the comments. I would actually really like to look into this. And I just don't know where to start. But like, yeah, you could give me that like first step, that entry point.
This was entirely written by Reddit user Modulum83 over on the SCP Declassified subreddit. All links will be in the description.
Can we get a quick 07 in the comments for Modulum83? Thank you so much for this, and also thank you so much to Volgun for like making a video. I feel like it's so like it's a lot more easily digestible like when it's in a video. Not that I don't like to read. I like to read. But I feel like in a video it sticks better.
If you enjoyed it, give Modulum83 some praise in the comments section for writing something I couldn't write myself.
On the original video too. Yes, of course.
I hope it answered most of your questions about who we are and what we do, and that it convinced you to take a dive and become part of the universe and the community.
Yeah, I hope this was a good refresher for you as much as it was for me. I'm really excited to delve into more like SCPs and stuff. This is pretty cool. Yeah, good stuff. Big shout out to TheVolgun again. Thank you so much for your amazing video. Damn.